Dobry utro, dobry dzień, and dobry wieczór, everyone. Superman47 here, bringing you another episode of Slackers Update Russian Edition. For those of you guys who don't speak Russian, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Hope you're all doing fine this lovely August 21st. Sorry to my Eastern European Russian-speaking friends for butchering your lovely tongue. As you all know, I'm Asian. We don't speak Russian. The majority of us, anyway. It's too damn cold. It's too damn cold in your nations. We're from like subtropic, man. Come on. We're not built for tundra. We're built for tropical. Anyway. The game you're watching in the background is Metro 2033, a fantastic post-nuclear end-of-the-world game, first-person shooter set in Russia, I believe. Slackers Update, series where I talk to you about any important things that have happened to me recently, or any pertinent projects related to the channel. First things up, a checkup with everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed the new prototype endings I've been leaving. I also hope you guys like the thumbnails I have up for Mad Father. I know, almost professional, right? Oh my god! Oh my god! We're almost professional. Almost. We're getting there. Getting there. What was it? 200 something viewers? Oh! Congratulations to my fellow video game commentators out there who have been enjoying a glorious boom in subscribership. Specifically, Hazelnutty Games and Jonathan over at iHeartPie. Congratulations to you both. You two put in a lot of work into your content. I've actually watched some of it myself. I know, YouTubers watching each other. Blows your mind, right? But yeah. Both of you two have been English. Switch to English, you Russian-speaking fiend. Both of you two have put in a lot of work in your content, and I'm really liking it. Good work, you two. Seriously, you guys earned it. Let's see. Aside from that, I talked about. Oh. When I said prototype endings, I do mean prototype, as in I'm already changing the Mad Father endings. I'm doubling the length and adding in official. I removed the previous episode section and I've replaced it with four mini slots to allow you guys to take a look at some of my other content, like Deus Ex or Age of Wushu, like any of you guys who are just there for Mad Father. I'm also planning on doing the same with Age of Wushu, Deus Ex, any other current series I have running right now. As for the older sort of like Iron Man type series like Game Dev Tycoon, or FTL, which I just recently failed. If you guys would like me to continue that series, do let me know. Like, oh, that's right, the XCOM project. Shouldn't be talking about that. Anyway, yeah, if you guys would want... I also take suggestions. Mad Father was a suggestion. So, well, I don't take suggestions, but I listen to them. I read suggestions because I'm not a full-time YouTuber. I'm not even a full-time gamer. I'm even less so of a gamer now that I'm a YouTuber, actually. Those of you guys who do YouTubing know what I'm talking about. You spend like 1 hour, maybe 2 hours playing a video game, and like 3 days rendering that, editing it, and uploading it. So, I'm even less of a gamer now than I was beforehand. Alright, so trust me. What you're seeing is what I actually play. So it's kind of sad, but YouTube life. Hey, all for that cheap YouTube cash, right? What else am I thinking of? That's right. If you guys have been following my Twitter at Superman47, I've actually been dropping little ideas on what I think would lead for what I think would compose of a very good horror game. Hence why the background gameplay will be Metro 2033. So I've been taking a lot of look. Like, I played Mad Father, obviously, and one thing I really like about it is the atmosphere. I feel that too many modern games now, too many modern horror games now, have that jump scare element. You know, everything's okay, everything's fine, yada yada, everything's fine, you know, sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows, and then suddenly, boom. Jump out of the closet, or suddenly you open a door and monsters there, or in case in point, Amnesia. Amnesia, the main game, the campaign, fantastic. It's a great game. Perfect with the suspense. Now, the custom maps. The majority of the custom maps that I've seen on Amnesia revolve around jump scares. You know, like dead bodies being flung at you. You know, the teleporting dead bodies. Hell, the Dark Room mod. You know, it's like suddenly you open the door and that triggers the spawning event for the Amnesia monster. I don't like that. That's not a good time. You know. So, I left a Twitter. Like, this is going to be another extra long episode because I'm trying to, you know, get down ideas for writing a horror game. Funnily enough. I'm not planning on making it. Any of you guys out there who are planning on making... I don't need this piece of paper. I need paper stat. Need paper stat to write this stuff down. Any of you guys out there who are watching this video and planning on making a horror game, feel free to take whatever elements of this... I need paper. Feel free to take whatever elements of this video, of my, you know, IP, whatever, my ideas that you need, because I'm not a game developer. I just want to play good games. Alright? So, let's start with a general theory. I have about... gameplay will go on for another 20-something minutes or so. So I have about 20 minutes. It's a 20-minute pitch. I'll probably do it in 5. If that. Alright, so... what's the basis of horror games nowadays? We'll use Amnesia, since everyone and their mother seems to be basing a horror game off of that. I mean, Trapped, no way to defend yourself... against insurmountable odds. No. Scratch all that right now. See, let's boil it all down. What is the basis of fear? The basis of fear is actually hope. If you think about it, it's hope and attachment and love. You know, you come across this in the stories, well, all the time, really. You got, you know, group of lone wolf soldiers headed off for insurmountable odds, and basically, and you hear the one rookie ask them, like, hey, you know, what are you guys gonna do after this is over? You know, if we survive. And then all of a sudden you get this whole rattle list of like, oh, I'm gonna go home to my wife, we're gonna make love for days, or I'm gonna go home and, you know, build a boat and then just sail off to the ocean. You hear all these hopes and wishes, right? And that's where the fear starts. Because fear is based off of hope. Fear is not learned helplessness, people. You don't beat the player into submission. You give him that chance. That's where the fear is. You give him hope. You give him that one shot that, hey, you might just make it out of this, buddy. You know, you just gotta fight for it. And that's where the fear starts. Because when the player gets ingrained into their mind that they have a shot at this, bam! That's where the real fear is. That hope, you know? So you got hope. But hope alone does not make a scary game. You need something to counteract it. This is where, what would the word for it be? Not fate, not destiny, but sort of relentlessness? No. Reliability. No, that's not it here. That's not it either. Finality? No. I had this word in my head. I think it starts with an R. I had it in my head a couple hours ago. It's not finality. It's not finality. I know that for sure. Because it's sort of like where it's sort of like something that you just can't stop. Oh my god, I gotta look. Thesaurus. My brain is not working with me tonight. Thesaurus.com, help me out here. Find me a synonym for, or find me an antonym for, no, not despair. Find me a hopelessness. This is a hopeless cause, finding this word. Find a not unintentional fate? Kismet. No, not even. Hang on, I will find this damn word. Inevitability! Son of a bitch, fuck! That's the word! It didn't even start with an R. I didn't find it on Thesaurus, just to let you all know. I just thought of it myself. So, you have hope, and then you have inevitability. But you need a catalyst for the player. That's where love comes in. So, I'm gonna propose you start up this game. Alright? Now, these are broad strokes. I'm not a game designer. I'm not even a writer. I'm just a gamer. Okay? So, here's the scenario here. You start off the player blank slate, just like Amnesia. He's in this factory. No, he's not in the factory. Alright? He's in a, whatchamacallit. He's in a office or a hospital of some kind. The overall branching arc of this story is someone who the player character loves is either ill or under some kind of curse. Like there's something terminal happening to that love interest. It could be son, daughter, lover, father, mother, uncle, doesn't matter. Just someone the player cares about, right? So the player character somehow through whatever mechanic hears about a possible cure. Alright? So you start the player character just before he hears of the cure. And to develop that, over the course of the game, you show through either flashbacks or clues, the events leading up to him finding the clue. You show the sickness of his family or his family member or his loved one. You show like how far he's willing to go to find the cure. Alright? And say, for example, that cure leads him to, some science lab out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. Alright? Where they've done all manner of twisted and just crazy experiments. Alright? Now this is where inevitability comes in, because you're in the middle of a lab with scary things, but plot twist, the scary things are all in your mind, you know? Now this is where you can get really fun with the player. So you give the player hope, okay? You tell him the cure's in the lab. You just have to find it and survive. But you gotta... This is gonna be a large rambling. I'm going completely off the cuff here. I'll probably be jumping around a lot. So... But in terms of chronological order of events of the story, you give the character a strong plot line that deals like you give the player sort of like a Lee and Clementine relationship with the injured family member. Alright? And then you show the player character how far the character is willing to go in order to find that cure. And in the meantime, you also show them the inevitability that you're going to die. But the players will forget all about that because they're holding out against hope that they'll survive to bring whatever cure it is to their family. I should probably clean up this idea, but I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. You give the players something to believe in. And then you'll fill it with mechanics, you'll unlike Amnesia, yeah, I'll give you, weapons or something to fight against the enemy, but ultimately the weapons will be ineffective because the real enemy is not the one that's out there, the real one is the one inside your head. Very much a sort of psychological component. Because it's not the things that you can shoot that worry you. It's the things that you can't, right? But if it's a game like Amnesia, where you're reduced to just hiding in a cupboard, or you're reduced to just, crawling in a corner, I hate to say it, but that mechanic can get worn out. I would much prefer having an enemy that you can pseudo fight. Say during a chase sequence, you know he's coming for you, and you know he's coming fast. But say you turn around and you got this big old assault rifle. It's like, yeah, I'm like man mode. You turn around, you put a couple rounds in him, slows him down. But he gets right back up, and he starts running for you. Now this is where the hope aspect comes in. All you have to do is just get on the other side of that door and seal it, right? So you just keep, putting rounds in him. Slow him down, but he's still coming. And eventually you're gonna run out of bullets. Oh yeah, bullet scarcity. Can't beat this into you game dev heads enough. Bullet scarcity. Bullets should be worth their weight in gold. Or any kind of defensive object should be worth their weight in gold in horror games. You can't just throw bullets at the player. You can't give some cheap old, hey, hello stranger, would you like to buy some big old rocket rounds? Nah, don't do that. You gotta make it scarce. You gotta put a risk-benefit relationship for finding bullets. Yeah, there are bullets in this big old factory warehouse, but there are also horrifying creatures in it as well. So you can either take the chance and try to find the bullets, or you can just hightail it to the exit and take your chances, down the line. You gotta give the player character a risk-benefit. What else can I say? As for the monster mechanics, I had this funny idea in my head. if the monster mechanic is going to be psychological, how about this? You know how in those dreams, right? Those horror dreams where you're running away from the monster and it feels like you're moving about, I don't know, it feels like you're moving a mile a minute, but actually you're moving slower than a slug. If you guys get that, ever had one of those nightmares? Think about that, except in reverse. Like, give the player an incentive to shoot at the monster instead of just running from it. Like, alright, I'll give you an example. Say you're running through say you're running down a 30-meter hallway, right? It's just a hallway. You're on one end, the monster's chasing you, and you have to get from one end of the hallway to the other. Alright? Now, normally, you would be able to outrun the monster. But, the longer the monster chases you, the faster it gets. Like, its speed starts to increase. Alright? Now, that goes into the mechanic, hey, when you're looking behind you, it's way the hell over there. You start running for about 10 seconds. You look behind you again. It's covered half the distance between you and it in that 10 seconds. You know? You look behind you again, and it's pretty much chomping on your butt. You know? That's the kind of horror. Like, I actually don't think that would, but we need to change that up. Anyway. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you have to force the player to be smart. If the monster sees you, it's gonna come after you, and it's gonna increase in speed exponentially. Well, not exponentially, but linearly. It's just gonna run faster and faster until it's on you. Sort of like in that, what is it? It's one of those object thingies. SI something? No. Is it one of the SI objects? Oh, what is that? What is that weird object thingy? Oh my god, I'm derping out on the name. SI1. No, what? Yeah, you know, it's one of those fan-made games in the Half-Life engine where the monster is trying to kill you, but it can't move as long as you look at it. I am really derping out on this right now. But it's sort of like that. And the only way to stop its speed acceleration and return it back to zero is to shoot at it. Like I said, it's a psychological monster. You shoot at it, you don't kill it, it's still there because it's part of you. You shoot at it and it just stops. And as soon as you start running away, it starts up again. You know, it starts from velocity equals 0 and slowly goes up linearly until it's on your butt again. This mechanic, combined with the bullets are scarce mechanic, will probably give quite a few players the tense moment. It won't be a jump scare. It'll be the slow burn, like, oh my god, I just need to survive into the next room kind of feeling. And that I like. I like that. I like that slow, tense, you know, like, gird your loins, cause it's gonna be a long night kind of feeling. And not that kind of night, either. It's gonna be a not good time. But, honestly, I do like that. I like combining inevitability with a strange sense of hope. You know, you have the immediate hope where I just need to stall him long enough to get into the next room, or I just need to stall him long enough to activate this mechanic which separates the two of us for a certain amount of time, you know, that kind of thing. And then you have the overall branch of hope where I've developed, you know, you develop this relationship with the character you're trying to save, and you're willing to do damn near anything to save them. You know, like, it could start off like that. Hell, the entire game could be one big slow burn. And by slow burn, I mean it's not a jump scare, it's more of a you notice things. Things that you see out of the corner of your eye that kind of look off, that look strange, that, it calls your attention to them in that kind of way. Those games scare the hell out of me. Jump scare games scare me for all of like 0.3 seconds. Enough to let out a scream, and then I'm like, that's it, let's go. Come on. You want the slow burns. You want a man to look. You want a situation where a character can walk into an elementary school classroom. Everything looks the same. Leaves the room, enters back in, and notices, wait, what's that drop of blood doing on the teacher's desk? You want to change the little things, the little details. Don't tell the story in terms of cutscenes or voiceovers. You can have voices, you can have voice acting, but just don't have cutscenes. What they did with Amnesia's little voiceover scenes as you're progressing through the game, that's okay, but I feel it was a little bit overdone. What you really want, what I would really want to do is allow the player to discover for themselves exactly the shitstorm they've walked into. Don't tell it to them. Don't spoon feed it to them. They're gamers. They're smart enough to figure it out for themselves. But just slowly, over the start of the game, hell, you don't even have to advertise. You don't even have to start the game as a horror game. Just start it off as a regular detective investigative game, and then slowly, as the player advances more and more into the story, after he's developed, the loving relationship with the character, the quote unquote sacrificial lamb character, the character that's going to get injured or sick or captured in some way, and then you start tweaking things. You start making things seem off. Hell, let's make it a kidnap scenario. 9-year-old adopted niece gets kidnapped by factory workers. Why? Dunno. You show up at the factory? It doesn't seem like an ordinary factory straight off the bat. Something's off here. And as you advance further and further and deeper into the factory, more and more things seem strange. Until finally, bam! It's the boiling frog analogy. Frog doesn't know it's in boiling water until it's too late. Right? Whereas you drop a frog into scalding hot water, it'll jump right out. That's the kind of horror game the world needs right now. That slow burn, you don't know what you're getting into until you're already neck deep in it. Anyway, that's my disorganized plans for a horror game. Feel free to, you know what? Hell, if any of you can make sense out of anything I just said, first of all, I want you to email me at superman47@gmail.com and tell me exactly what the hell I just said. And 2, feel free to use it. I don't care. I just want to play a good game. I don't have any ability to make or produce a good game. I just want to play it. Damn. But yeah, feel free to use it, and I guess that's about it. I'm actually about to start recording some more Age of Wushu for you guys right now. After a quick break, of course. And then I'll get back to making new annotations, making new endings, new outros for everything. Every series, except this one, is going to get its own personalized outro. Slackers updates will get the standard Phoenix soaring over the mountains kind of thing, because I like that. I like it. I don't care if you guys think it's stupid. It's my logo. You guys can start your own YouTube channel. You know, pay to make your own logo. And I don't care. Anyway, that's about it. I think, yeah. No more suggestions from me. I think I'm gonna call it here. I will take a 15-minute break and then start recording Age of Wushu. I'm SuperVin47. You've been watching Slackers Update. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!